Welcome to Loving Me Before I Love You with Tammy Nicole, the podcast dedicated to you loving and putting yourself first. Others have come first in your life for years, and you know it's time for that to change. You're about to be empowered to set healthy boundaries, confidently have hard conversations, unapologetically put yourself first, and live the peaceful life you deserve. Remember, self-love is essential, and loving yourself sets the stage for every other love in your life. So get ready to embrace self-love like never before with your host, Coach Tammy Nicole.
Hey. It is Tuesday. It is the first Tuesday of a brand new year. We are so excited that we have all managed to cross over. I am sure you have been running rampant, doing all of your lovely things from the holidays, and now you're kind of ready to rest. But over here, we're going to do like a little reset. It's a brand new year, and our topic today is, who are you when nobody's watching? So a lot of times we think that we can just be who we want to be when nobody sees us. We think we can be who we need to be when everybody is watching. But who are you when nobody is watching? I do have a guest with me today. I am so excited that she actually joined me. She is like my new TikTok friend. Her name is Miss Lanita Sanford. She is a mental health professional, and I'm going to let her do her own introduction. I always say, nobody knows you better than you. So I let people introduce themselves, but I just give a little, this is who they are. This is kind of their background, but they're going to tell you who they are for real. Welcome to the show, Lanita.
Hey, y'all. So my name is Lanita. I am a former professional athlete, specifically basketball, turned now into a mental health coach. So I help women heal abandonment and daddy issues. And I am like your honest big sister. And I'm very direct, and I just love to help the girlies just figure out who they are, who they meant to be. So yeah.
I'm with you so wholeheartedly, to be honest. Daddy issues is the very first exit, and I call it an exit. So as a mental health professional, being a therapist, technically now 22 years, I was doing all of what I call the regular things, right, in a therapeutic world. But when I took an exit and stepped outside of just doing regular things, daddy issues was my niche, my genre. And it still is technically. But I focus more on self-love, and I do it because I feel like if we don't know who we are, love ourselves, the rest is like, what are we doing?
I agree. And I feel like for me, my story started as daddy issues because I went into therapy for a relationship. My therapist was like, Lanita, I don't think this is what you're supposed to come for. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, I just got my heart broke. What do you mean? And then so we deep dived into daddy issues. And then that's kind of how I spewed into TikTok and was like, let me just tell my story, because I feel like I'm not the only one going through that or went through that or whatever. And a lot of women resonated with me. So I do feel like daddy issues is like a lot of women's wound. So that's what I try to like dig about.
It is. And when I think about it, right, so when I say I exited, that was the first thing I did. So I wrote my very first book called I Married My Father, Understanding How DNA Plays a Part in Choosing the Right Mate. Yeah. And it was really about understanding that you could have so many different types of dads. Like, we have women that don't know their father at all. You got women that their daddy is there, but not there. Like, in other words, they know who he is, where he's located, but he's not super active in their lives. You got some
unavailable parent.
Yes, they're there. They're literally there. You got some that are overly involved, right? Yes. Where daddy is just like my world. And in all of that, not knowing you, honestly, is the result of not knowing him. And when I say that, it's like, he gave you a piece of him, He didn't give you all of him. And so many of us, when we're getting into relationships, if we had a bad experience with daddy, we tend to either try to shy away from people that look like him, be it in their behaviors, because it's not necessarily the character of him, because you only know what he did. You didn't get to know him and his character. So you're running away from his behaviors. And so we do that so often when in reality, you kind of need it. Like, because he gave it to you, like it's in you, like it's DNA, like you can't change it. You
Right.
can't take it and replace it and, get something new, because this is what's in your mindset of what's right or what's available.
Right.
And so we tend to jump into relationships that honestly be the exact thing we were running from. Like, you didn't want that and you got it anyway.
Yeah. Like for me, I literally ran straight to I literally ran straight to my dad.
That's what I'm
like I anybody that I dated reminded me reminded me so much of my dad. And so when I really broke it down, I was like, oh, this is something that like my dad does that I don't like. And this is something that like I didn't know I needed to really pay attention to. Wait, sorry, is that airplane bothering you? Like my window is up. Should I close it? Are you good?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So for me, my dad came up a lot, and I feel like he came up a lot in my relationships because I hadn't healed and really sat down and acknowledged like all the things that I went through when it came to him. So
Mhm.
it was eye opening to say the least.
Right. And honestly, even though like I'm like, oh, we're talking about who are you when nobody's looking, that
Mhm.
all plays a part into it, right?
Yeah.
Because when nobody is looking, it's like the door is closed and we're sitting with ourselves and we're being who? And all of those things that we don't address always show up.
When no one's there. And you know what's kind of, I'm not gonna say a caveat, but I feel like as women, because I do have a lot of women clients, I ask them like, who are you? Like, give me 3 things you can say nice about yourself. And they can't. Like, they have a very, very hard time telling themselves like nice things. Like, who do you identify as? How do you want to show up in the world? And I feel like as women, I'm not going to say we're always attached to a man, but some of our identity is very attached to a man. So it's like, who are you without that man? And and that's something that for me, my story specifically, it was like, again, I played basketball for 20 years. So it's like, Lenita, who are you aside from basketball? Like, how can you describe yourself outside of basketball? And so then it went into like relationships and stuff like that. So I say that to say, like, I feel like as women, we need to really hone in on like, who are you without no one attached to you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because most of the time when we think about who we are, we think about the titles we hold.
Yes. Yes. Very much so. Like mom, wife, daughter. And it's like, really?
Yeah. We don't think about the character. We don't think that I'm kind and that I'm actually like fun to be around because I enjoy, we don't think those things. We
At
think
all.
immediate title, immediate job description. And it's like, you're not a job. You're not a title.
Literally.
But we find ourselves being lost in it.
Yes. And I also think because society plays so much of a role in that, where it's like, like I would like to say I'm a middle-aged millennial. So growing up, like it was like you had to get a job, you had to go far in that corporate ladder, you had to do this, you had to do that. But for me, obviously, like I play basketball, but it's like when you're tied to something for so long, how do you differentiate you from that thing? And I think that is a struggle because you've been tied to something for so long.
Yeah. But I also think it becomes a struggle because we were never taught to identify.
Correct.
ourselves with ourselves. We're
Correct.
taught to identify ourselves with things, objects, people,
Yes.
as a whole.
Yes.
Right? Like when I think about my clients and I'm teaching them self-love and I'm teaching them self-awareness and I'm teaching them self-compassion and self-forgiveness and gratitude and things of that nature, the first thing that come out their mouth 9 times out of 10 is, well, what is that? Right? That's what come out their mouth. Like
Literally.
it's literally,
Yes.
I don't really know, you
Yes.
know?
I get that a lot. I get that a
Which
lot.
is why at some point we talk about our age being in our 40s or what have you. And it's like you get the job, you accomplish the goals, you're financially successful, and then you stop and look around and say, now what?
Mhm.
Because now I'm no longer satisfied, which is typically like my clients. They're typically super successful and unsatisfied.
Mhm.
But they're unsatisfied because they didn't know who they were. They started so young with the focus of financial goals. You think about as a kid, you ask your children, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Mhm.
What do you want to do? And you think about stuff like, oh, I'll be a lawyer, I'm going to be a policeman, a fire. Like everybody's
A
thinking all of these
doctor.
things
Yeah.
and they're attaching it to financial gain,
Yes.
right? I can make a lot of money if I do this particular job. But so you go do it, right? Like you go to school, you get the degree, you go get that job, you do all of the things, but they weren't necessarily what you wanted to do
Mhm.
because we weren't taught to think about ourselves in that way. We're
Right.
simply taught to think about things from a standpoint of finances and being in right position and being in a space of being able to take care of yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We're not taught to think about what makes you happy.
And then that I feel like turns into hyper independence. And then we get older and then it's like, well, I don't need nobody. Like you do. How'd you go from that to that? Like you still need people, right? And so
Yeah.
I feel like when you live like that mentality and mindset for so long and then you become hyper independent and then you get lonely and it's just like it's so many different transitions in life that we go through to kind of come back to center. So it's just like, and then you do all that and then you go back to like, well, who am I really? And it's like,
Yeah.
it's tough. It's tough.
It definitely can be, but I also think it's manageable, right? I think
I
that when we think, who am I when no one is watching? It really, for me, resonates to being your true self,
correct.
right?
Mhm.
Because the things that I do when nobody else is watching is what I really want to do,
Mhm.
right? And I think a lot of times we find where our emotional status actually resides in
Mhm.
that space. When
Mhm.
you are alone, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Are you reading? Are you journaling? Are you watching movies that make you happy? Are you entertaining yourself with the things that make you smile?
Mhm.
Or are you sitting there sad, running through social media, looking at what people are doing that you're not doing, that you want to do, that you wish you could be doing because you're comparing yourself to other people?
Oh, brother. The social media trap is one that like I really don't like, especially for people who don't really know themselves and are trying to figure out who they are. Um because I tell my clients like y'all are going through it. Y'all are making everything look fine on the outside because that's what social media does for you. Instead of really honing in on you and figuring out who you are and what you like. And I literally asked one of my clients, like, what do you like to do? And they were like, I don't know. Like, I like to, like, I go to work, I come home. I'm like, yeah, but what do you like to do? Like, aside from work, aside from taking care of your children, what do you like to do? And it's just hard to identify that, especially via social media, because social media tells us that we have to have $1 million, we have to live this lavish lifestyle, we have to do this, we have to do that. And so it's like you compare, which is comparisons like the thief of joy, but like you compare yourself to social media and then you try to obtain that.
Emulate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can't because half the time they're not really living that true life. So it's like you're comparing yourself to people. You're comparing yourself to
Girl,
people who don't technically even live that life. So
girl, the fakeness of social media is astonishing.
I feel like
Okay.
that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
That is,
It
when I
is.
tell you that the amount of people that lose themselves
Mhm.
in the comparison wheel with people who are technically not living that life is mind blowing.
Yes.
And I think even when we look at, let's just take TikTok for an example.
Okay, let's do TikTok. That's my favorite
It's
app.
my fave.
Okay.
I'm starting to like Instagram a little bit more,
Okay.
but TikTok is my fave,
Okay.
right? But
Mhm.
if we just take it for what it is,
Mhm.
the minute a trend happens and 50 million people try to do that trend, it's
Mhm.
like watching people chase.
Literally. Literally. Like it's you know what I say? I say it's literally watching people chase validation from people.
They don't know them, don't like them, don't care about them. Like legitimate, don't really give two
Yeah,
about you.
Mhm.
But yet
Mhm.
you're doing everything in your power just to get the like, to get the follow. Now, granted, from a financial perspective, I do understand you need some of these things in order for the payout to be what you desire.
But
But
then
I'm talking
my
about your average person.
okay, then my question would be, okay, once you get that fame, right? Once you get the virality, then what do you do with it? A lot of people don't know what to do with virality because it's like you're chasing a trend because someone went viral. Now you're going viral, but you don't have no substance behind the virality. So what are you essentially going to do with the virality? You just went viral for no reason.
Just because they can.
Like, how are you going to back that video up? Do you even know how to back the video up?
Do they even care?
No, they don't. They don't.
Do they even care?
They
No.
don't. They
It's
don't.
because that's not the point, right? Like
No.
most of it is really about the attention that they get
Yes.
because they don't get that attention at home or within their small community.
Hello.
So a lot of people, one of the reasons why I like TikTok in general is because of the national exposure connection type thing that you actually get. Now, granted, you get it on Instagram and all of that, but you don't really see it from
Yes.
like you don't see how far people are away from you on Instagram. I think Instagram is like in your neck of the woods. It's like you see the same post, not the same exact post, but the same people all the time.
Also,
On TikTok,
the algorithm. So
yeah,
TikTok shows you like your algorithm. Like when you put out
changes.
like when you put out a video, they don't even show it to the people who follow you. They show it to like 200 people, like new
Other
people.
people that don't know you.
Yeah. So I agree. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah. But when I'm like, how does that make you? Right? Like
Mhm.
when you think about how we're talking, like, oh, who are you when nobody's around, nobody's watching? When you do the posting, like
Yeah.
when you actually are posting, most of that is not who you are.
Correct.
Most.
Yeah.
And it's like, like it's like that double side eye
Yeah.
on it. But then I think about the people who really are posting their lives, right? They're literally posting every waking moment. I look at those that try to skew the view.
I have my
People
own.
always ask me, what do you mean by skew the view?
Mm-hmm.
And I simply mean they will record things that are happening, but skew it for you to think the story of what happened is totally different than its reality.
Right.
So that's not really living a luxury life, but go somewhere that has luxury items in it. But I record it, so now it's mine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I am not a person that will film me waking up and going to bed. Like my whole day. That's just not me. I am a very private person. I also feel like we live in a world now where everyone feels the need to have so much access to these influencers and these uh stars, and it's like they don't owe you nothing. Like they literally don't owe you nothing. So why do you need so much of you in that person? Like I understand like those may be your comfort creators, right? But it's like at what point are we okay with like, hey, they are actually normal people. They go through things just like we go through things. So like let's give them a break.
yeah.
That's all I'm
But
saying.
again, I think that resides in their identity, right?
No, for sure. For sure.
If I put all of me in you because you have something I really wish I had,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
who am I when nobody's watching?
Yeah.
Who am I when nobody's watching is who I'm watching.
Literally. Yeah. Like,
Like, oh,
no, go ahead.
no, I'm saying, like, ultimately, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and that's what that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, when it comes down to social media, like who you are when no one's watching is the person on the screen that you aspire to be. But yet we still talk mess about them. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. But yet you aspire to be them. But yet we're just sitting on on a couch doing nothing to progress. We're just present, and that's it.
Yeah.
How else can we show up? How else can we depend on ourselves? How else can we show up in the world and not depend on someone that we have no inkling of correlation with?
Yeah. I literally did a couple of months ago, I did a post that said, and I'm paraphrasing, but it went along the lines of, if you have to change to get somebody to like you, doesn't that mean you just don't like yourself? Like, and hear me out when I say this.
Okay.
When you start dating somebody, when you meet a new friend, start dating somebody, and you feel like you have to put on this representative for them to like you, for them to choose you, for them to pick you, and you're being all these things like, I'm going to be super nice. Let's use dating as the example. That's real easy. Oh, I'm about to be super nice. I need to show him that I'm a wife. I'm going to be super considerate. I'm going to be doing all of these things that make him go, ooh, checkbox. Ooh, I like her. Let me, dive a little deeper. Let me pick her. And then in 6 months, and I'm saying 6 months because technically it's more like 3, your real you show up because you got him. Now that's my lady. We in a committed relationship. And now I don't have to work that hard. I don't have to be that other person. And it's like, but why? Why not just be, because clearly, if you look at the rationale behind making the change, clearly you don't accept the person who you are without the change, or you don't think they're worthy of the choice, worthy of being picked, worthy of, like, he's going to like me because I'm me. You feel like I need to change to be who I think he's going to like and choose. So that tells me just in that super rationale of thinking that the person you are becoming in that moment is who you really desire to be. But you refuse to do the work to be that person. You just want to temporarily show up as that, which means that you technically could be. You did all that thought process, you did all that preparation, you did all those like becomings for a moment.
I agree. I feel like there's a creator that I follow on YouTube, and she has created a whole series called Becoming Her, right? And I get so finicky when creators, I guess, tell you how to be a woman, if you will, um, because I feel like that is very subjective. Like, you guys are telling women like they should wear these pastel colors, they should go get massages, they should do this, they should do that. But it's like, if they don't have the money to supplement, like how are they going to do all these things, right? So essentially that's them living their life through you and then aspiring to be that. But at some point, when do we start at ground level? It's like, oh, you need to go take you a solo vacation and reconnect with yourself. Well, if they don't have the income to do that, how can we work on us without doing these lavish things?
Oh, I got the answer for that. I actually released a book last year, a journal, a solo dating journal. Basically, it's a journal that teaches you how to develop a relationship with yourself. It's called Me, Myself, and Love.
Okay.
Literally, it walks you through the roots of where you learned what love was to the.
Wow, today's episode is a good one. I know you're enjoying it, and we'll get back to it shortly. Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know that Tammy would love for you to share any questions, comments, or topic ideas you have with her. All you have to do is send them to her in an email to podcast@IamTammyNicole.com. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get back into today's show.
Full-fledged dating experience that you experience when you date somebody else, but you're doing it with you.
Okay.
I give you options of dates that cost money and options of date that don't. You can do everything at home in your community, no cost whatsoever. Because I consider the woman that says, I'm not there yet, as well as the woman that says, been there, done that, I can handle, I can go to Dubai by myself.
Yeah. Right.
And the woman that says, oh no, I can barely take a weekend getaway 2 states over. Right? But you can spend time with yourself at home. You can pull things out of your house and redecorate a space that says this belongs to me.
Yeah.
You can give yourself a corner that isolates you and gives you some level of peace and tranquility. You can do that. You can find yourself a dollar store and get you some candles and put it on. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things you can absolutely do. And I actually did that in my journal for that very reason. It allows you to dig deep. It's like questions before the dates, and then after you do the date, the dig deep questions after the fact. Not just how did you feel about it, but what popped up for you? What happened? Not just, oh, I took myself to dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. I do, I feel like with that, even with that, I feel like it's hard for people to do simply because that requires a lot of inner work. And a lot of people don't necessarily want to do the inner work. They rather look good on the outside. And that is something that I have discovered a lot, especially with my content. A lot of women rather look good on outside. Like, you care about the link to a jacket, a shoe, a purse. But when you want to talk about healing you, right? That's not something that you want to talk about. Because me personally, I am a wound person. Like, I am a very, like, let's attack the wound first and then we can go from there. That's just how I construct my business. But a lot of people just would rather, like, you consume all the content. So it's like, okay, you consume the content, now what? Now what?
Yeah, they don't do the work.
Yeah,
Like, doing the work is not like what they really want to do.
at
They
all.
want you to do the work. They hear what the work is. Execution is always the problem. It's not the consumption of
Mhm.
the information. It's how do I execute? We're broke and poor because of execution, not
Yes.
knowledge.
Yes.
At first, it was knowledge, but
Mhm.
now the knowledge is available, and now people are actually obtaining it and like getting it all. They just don't do it, and that is the handicap. That's the issue. The issue is not I didn't know better. You know, back in the day, my uncle used to say to me all the time, people do better if they know better. And at this point, I'm saying that's not quite true.
Agree.
People do better when they want to.
100%.
It's not about what they know. It's about what they want. And until they want better, until they won't do it. Until they have hit a spot of I can't go no lower, they won't do it.
But
To
how
your point,
low?
everybody's low is different.
Yes, but my thing is, you're already like, and this is what I tell people. You see my content, you see the things, right? You're already low. How much more low do you need to go in order to really try to work on you? And then it's like everything is about a relationship. Well, I'm dealing with this guy, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, all the time. Which is why relationship content
Oh,
gets more attention and attraction than anything. Because I literally did this a couple of months ago too. We all, as humans, we want two things. We want to be seen and we want to be loved.
correct.
Period.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't love me unless you see me.
Mhm.
However, when you talk about relationships, it seems as though that's the only thing that is important to us. We almost feel like if we don't have it, we can't be nothing better, greater, or whatever. It's like, I gotta have this little piece. If I don't have it, who am I? And that's the part where we're trying to get you to see you are this person, regardless if you have that relationship or not. Because the only relationship that really matters is the one with yourself. Because how you see yourself and how you treat yourself is a direct correlation to how you see other people and how you allow them to treat you as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to piggyback off that, when we talk about relationships, I feel like we want our hand held through every step of the way. Even when I make content, it's like, dang, you didn't hold my hand. We want our hand held through every aspect of life. So I always ask people, like, at what point are you going to curate your own experiences and go through it yourself so you can figure out yourself if you like it, if you don't like it, how you feel about it.
Yeah.
If you keep allowing or wanting people to hold your hand through life, how are you ever going to figure out your own self, your own identity? And I think that goes back to the topic of who you
Who
are.
are you?
Yeah.
Who are you when nobody's watching?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us don't know. That's the real, like, if we was to boil down the question and give an exact answer, it's who are you when nobody is watching? I don't know.
Mhm.
And I don't know because I never take the time to sit with myself. I never take the time to say, I actually like that. No, I don't really like that. Or as much as that sounds societal catastrophe or suicide, I still want to try it. Like, when we think we're so busy trying to please everybody else or wonder what everybody else is going to think, and the only thought that matters is yours. But we're so big wondering, what is Uncle so-and-so going to think if they see me on this platform? What is, cousin going to think if they see me on this platform? What is my homegirl going to say when she going to be like, girl, you dating him? What is so-and-so going to, like, everything is about everybody else's thoughts and ideas, and you lose yours in the process.
Yeah. And to that point, I feel like why do we care so much is my question. Like, what does that person do in your life for you to care that much?
When you sit back with that particular question, I really think that the answer is they tell me what to do, right? Like, and when I say that, I'm really saying it from a space of this, because we're people pleasers, because we like literally live off the validation of those around us. If they are not in agreement with it, we tend not to want to do it, or we have this big plan. That's why you're not supposed to tell people all your dreams all the time, because they will cancel them for you, even though you technically would be amazing and would excel and be like the Richter scale. Sky's the limit. But you will allow somebody to talk you out of your own dreams because they don't agree with it. But it ain't for them. It's for you. But you care that much because you have told yourself that the love for them or their love towards you supersedes your love for yourself.
Like to the point where we are just gonna say, you know what? Then you go back into self-doubt. Then it's like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to do this. Maybe they're right. And it's like, then at what point do you develop your own brain? Yes, own voice, own brain. Like, at what point does that happen? If we keep letting Uncle Duro, cousin Tammy do all these things and say all these things and have so much control over our life, at what point do you run your own life?
You don't.
You
until
don't.
you don't, until you literally have a realization that you matter. Ultimately, is that it's I matter. My thoughts matter. My desires matter. I'm worthy of having everything. The desires of my heart are for me. They're not for everybody else. Now, the life you live is for other people. And people always ask me, why do I say that? And I'm saying because the things that you go through are for you to share your story so that when other people are going through it, they have something to build off of. But that's what I mean when I say that. It's not your life is for other people, for them to dictate, for you to do what they want to do. No, that's you living their life. You still have to live yours.
Tammy, let me ask you a question. At what point do people figure out they matter? And the reason why I ask this is because I see this all the time in my content. I see this all the time with my clients, where they always say, like, I never really mattered, right? And so my biggest thing to them is like, okay, we're adults now. You didn't matter then to them, but you matter now for you. So how can we figure out specific ways for you to start mattering to yourself, for you to start using your voice to yourself? So that's why I asked, like, at what point do you think people are like, you know what, I matter?
When they stop caring about what other people think.
Validation. When they stop seeking validation.
Yep. When they stop. When they realize that what they think doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because something has to matter. Let's be clear.
Yes.
Something has to matter.
Yes.
You stop caring about when it matters to them more than it matters to you. And that's when the transition happens. Because validation is necessary, but it's more necessary that it comes from you than it comes from other people.
100%. 100%.
But we're not taught that. We don't teach our kids that. We do all the validating for them versus telling them, tell yourself you're proud of you.
Literally.
Tell yourself you did a good job. It's not about being cocky or being conceited. It's about understanding who the heck you are and that you did an amazing job. And it's okay to pat yourself on the back and say, good job.
I think that's hard for people. They can't do that.
Because they're not taught it. Like, ultimately, my thought pattern is we weren't taught it. We can't do it. Right? everything is about unlearning bad habits, things that it's just unlearning them and learning something new. When you see somebody else in a state of freeing, they're like living their best life and they have a glow, and you're looking at them like, how did you get there? Why you don't care about what other people think? Why is it that you have the audacity to say whatever the heck is on your mind and don't really care about what comes back?
You know what's funny? Because literally, like TikTok, a lot of people ask me that all the time. Like, Lanita, when I say I don't care, I don't care. And so people ask me, like, how did you develop that? I was like, I'm not even trying to be funny. I've always been this way. I just never really care. I never really seek validation from anybody. And so I do feel like it definitely depends on how you was raised. But it's also like, as an adult, how long are you going to keep blaming your parents for things?
Well, people don't. So adulting in this society is a chronological age thing. It is not an emotional maturity thing.
It's not. It is
okay.
not. It's
so that's the first problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when we say as an adult, like, why you just can't, why you just won't, why you just,
Mm-hmm.
you look in the side eye like, really? Like, you pay your own bills? You go to work? Like, you do things on your own without the people that you're looking to validate you to do it. Like, they don't go sit at your job and do your job for you.
Right.
They don't log into your pay accounts and send their money in to pay your bills. But you still struggle with making a real decision based upon what you want to do out of life. So adulting really is about emotional maturity than it is about an age
and
a stage of life.
Yes.
And so that to me is where that it's like the difference between the two. Yeah. You look at relationships, you look at the men, and you're like, they immature, they're not emotionally available, they out here, and men are going to have that struggle because they're not taught about emotions as kids. Correct. They don't tap in. But women they ain't that far off. As much, just because people think we're emotional don't mean we're emotionally intelligent. Listen. A lot of us are emotionally immature as well. Which goes back to, who are you when nobody's watching?
Yes. I tell women all the time, because my clients are majority women, and I say, y'all get on social media and act like you're so much better and higher than a man. And I get in a session with y'all and y'all don't even know how to communicate. Y'all can't even express your feelings. Yeah, you guys don't even know how to have an emotional conversation. Yeah. You don't know how to express your feelings. And I'm literally pulling teeth to ask you how you feel about said things. How are your feelings around said things? And you can't even tell me that.
All the time. All the time. And then again, we get into a space of it's all based on validation. Like, who are you when nobody's watching? Mostly a basket case. Like, you're just full of different things that you didn't put in there, right? It's like you are a mix of things that you technically don't even understand, which is why you're in the space you're in. Now, if you want to change that, let's talk about what changing that looks like, because I'm big on authenticity. Who I am when nobody's looking is who I am when they are watching. What you see is what you get. You can tap into anybody around me in different circles, at work, my friends, my close circle, friends I don't talk to on a regular basis, but they see me 2 or 3 times a year. Like, my kids, like, there's no difference because I'm authentic. But I'm authentically me because I learned who the heck I was. I started to dig deeper and get to the roots, heal the issues that plagued me, that
Mhm.
made me, oh, she can be a little selfish sometimes. Oh, yeah, I don't want to be that, or she real stubborn. I don't really want to be that. But understanding who you are. Sometimes you may find out who you are and don't want to change a doggone thing. And guess what? You don't have to. But the mere fact that you found out who you were, you understood it, and you accepted it is better than being in a space of unknown.
I agree. And I do feel like authenticity is a very important key, especially in the times that we live in. It's very hard to be authentic simply because of social media. It's very hard to really even know who you are authentically because it's like you're skewed via social media. So I would say, like, really just get to know who you are, however that looks like. And to the point, it's like, it's okay to be selfish. You might have a selfish season. It's okay. Not everybody deserves your energy. Not everybody deserves your time. It's okay to be selfish in certain seasons, especially when you're trying to get to know you.
Oh, absolutely. You set the tone for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's your life.
Mm-hmm.
You set your own boundaries. Boundaries are for you. They're not for other people.
Oh,
Anybody listening?
Oh, can you say that? Like, boundaries are not jail.
Rules. Right. They're not rules.
Yeah.
They're not walls. No.
Oh, boundaries are for you.
You. Absolutely. This
That's
is what
it.
I will not do if you do this.
That's it.
Period.
Yeah.
I will not engage in this conversation if you continue to yell at me. That's my boundary. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Now, I told you what I'm doing if you keep doing, but that's it.
And also,
And I'm going to stick to it. The
right.
problem is you guys create things and have no follow through, no consistency. It's like, I don't answer my phone after 9:00. You keep wanting to call and text me after 9:00 and wondering why I'm not responding or answering my phone, because I don't answer my phone after 9:00. You choose to keep doing it. That's your experience.
Mm-hmm. And also, your no means no.
It's a sentence. It's not a question mark.
Period. No, that's it. Nothing else. A lot of people have trouble with explaining no. I'm a very no. Lanita, no. Your no means no.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. But I just want you guys to start thinking about who you are when nobody's watching. And does that person align with what they see when they are? If who you are when nobody's watching does not equate, align, or even resemble who you are when they are watching, it's time to dig deep. It's time to go in and figure out what's really going on. And I will say, you do have 2 people here that help women do this every day. You can definitely reach out, definitely get some services. It's not that you have to do it alone, but you do need to do it. Lanita, I want to first thank you for stopping by, loving me before I love you.
Thank you. This was great. Thank you for having me. This was great. I love the conversation. It was great.
Please tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me on socials, on TikTok, on Instagram. I believe my TikTok is like Shanae Mental Health. I believe Instagram is like it's.shanae.sanford. I'll send it to Tammy and maybe she'll put it in the description. But yes, thank you.
Most definitely will.
Right.
Again, remember, being you is more important than what they see. Love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus. Have a good one. Catch you next week.
That's a wrap on another episode of Loving Me Before I Love You. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a second to show your support by subscribing and leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Stay connected with Tammy. Make sure you're following her on Instagram and TikTok at Coach Tammy Nicole. If you like to work with Tammy or have any questions you'd like her to answer, please head over to www.IamTammyNicole.com. Until next time, always remember to love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus.